5 mistakes that you are making that is keeping you from getting jacked and looking amazing. The first mistake that you are making that is making you look unaesthetic, fat, sloppy, and not looking very good at all is a poor diet. Now, I'm not just speaking about eating the processed foods, I'm also speaking about just not getting enough protein in your diet. So let's talk about the food you are eating first. So you are likely eating the terrible processed foods 100%, 90%, 80% of the time. And you're wondering why you're not making much progress, why you don't look that good. Well, it's simply because you were eating such terrible foods that lack so many nutrients, that have no protein in it, so they're not good for muscle building, they're not good for your internal functioning. And when your internal functioning is not functioning correctly, obviously your output, what is seen externally, is not going to be very good. If you're giving foods to your body that is good for you, and your internal functioning is good, that is likely going to mean your external appearance is going to start looking pretty good. So if you're eating Pop-Tarts for breakfast, cereals, chocolates, listen, I've been through it. I've been through stages where I'm actually in a stage right now, being fully honest, full humility here. I am in a stage right now where I'm eating a bit too many of those foods, and I'm just slowly reducing it, because listen, it is literally impossible to always stay away from those foods. But if you can make it a conscious effort to stop eating as many as those foods and start replacing them with the good whole foods, the meat, the eggs, the fruit, the vegetables, the grains, you're going to be making a lot more progress. So listen, I understand these junk foods are literally made to keep you addicted, to keep you strung on them like some type of drug, but you have to start reducing how much of it you're eating a day. So yeah, maybe start off with, if you're having 5 meals a day and they're all processed, start off with maybe taking 1 meal out a day and replacing it with whole foods. Then maybe a week later, once you've gotten used to that, go to 3 meals a day, 2 of them being whole foods. Then 2 meals a day, 3 of them being whole foods, and then etc., until 90% of your diet or 100% of your diet is the whole foods, rather it being the other way around, where the processed foods are taking up 80, 90, 100% of your diet. When you eat these processed foods, you're just going to put on more fat, you're not going to build as much muscle, and that's simply also because they're not very high in protein. So when you eat these processed foods, you never reach your protein goals. So you want to be reaching probably a gram per pound of body weight when it comes to protein. It's quite simple to do. If you eat the whole foods, you'll get the protein in. But if you don't, you're eating the processed foods all the time, you'll never make that threshold target. And the truth is, when you're not getting high protein, you're simply not building that much muscle, because training is catabolic. That is what breaks down the muscle. Training is obviously needed to build muscle. But when you recover, you rest, that is when protein is needed to supplement that muscle growth, allow it to occur effectively, and it kind of acts as the building blocks to your muscles. So you need to be getting a high protein diet in. If you're not going to be making much progress at all. So don't just clean up your diet. Well, no. Clean up your diet, eat the real whole foods, and the high protein will come with that, because if you're eating more of the whole foods, which are the meats, the eggs, etc., they are usually higher in protein. So yeah, if you just clean up your diet and eat the whole foods, you will start making so much progress. And when I stopped eating the disgusting processed foods all of the time, my physique got 10 times better. So yeah, change to the whole foods, you will not regret it. Just a disclaimer, my full aesthetic body course is in the link in the description. It teaches you exactly how to build the aesthetic physique and get in the best shape of your life. Go check it out right now, link in the description. The second mistake you are making is you are training very poorly. Training is how you are going to build the muscle, right? You need to train in the right way to present a meaningful stimulus to your muscle to allow it to grow. So you can't just go into the gym, do 10 reps, not feel any discomfort or any pain, and expect the muscle to grow. That likely will not occur. You need to actually put some, quite heavy resistance on it. So train till failure, or 1 off or 2 off failure. I personally go to failure on all of my lifts, and it doesn't kill your gains to go to failure. Don't listen to anyone who says that. I still look great. But if you wanted to, you could train 1 or 2 reps shy of failure and you can still make a lot of progress. I personally think it's just easier going till failure because then you know the set is over, you can't do anymore. So yeah, don't train like a pussy, don't train till mild discomfort, actually train hard when you're in the gym, and obviously make sure your form is very good too. Those are the two key components to building muscle in the right way when it comes to training. And on top of that, progressively overloading every single week, increasing the weight incrementally and making sure you're always making progress when it comes to your lifts, because when you're going up in strength, you are going up in muscle growth as well. Simple as that. There's a clear correlation. The stronger you are likely means the more muscle mass you have. Obviously, there's some exceptions, but for the vast majority, the stronger you are, the more muscle mass you have. Now, the third mistake you are making, which is keeping you out of shape, unaesthetic, and looking terrible, is poor sleep. Sleep is one of the most important things when it comes to building muscle and losing fat. There's been so many studies that have shown if you simply sleep for longer, get better sleep quality, you will build more muscle, you will lose more fat. Simple as that. Sleep is where you build testosterone. Testosterone is what really helps build muscle mass. And yeah, you need to be getting at least 7 to 9 hours in every single night. And also just for your health as well, getting a lot of sleep is very good for your health, very good for your optimal functioning. For when it comes to fitness, you need it to build muscle, to recover. You need your muscles to rest. Recover, that's what is going to happen when you're sleeping. Make sure you're getting good sleep. That also means don't be going out partying every single night because you're going to ruin your sleep schedule and you're going to continue to look bad in the way that you do. Look down at your stomach right now. Can you pinch your stomach and feel about 10 rolls? If you can, something's wrong. Get better sleep. Number 4. The fourth mistake that you are making that is keeping you unaesthetic, unattractive looking physique. Over there, bud, I see you. It is simply prioritizing strength over aesthetics. Now, you should be training for aesthetics rather than strength. If you want to look good, if you want to have that nice muscular build, you should prioritize your training in a certain way to look that way. So if you prioritize strength in your training, that means you're likely going for, 1 to 3 reps, you're going for really heavy lifts like bench press, you're going for big squats, etc. That's great for powerlifting if you're passionate about it, do it. But if you want to build a nice aesthetic build with the, the muscle mass, lean, nice, like Hollywood look, you need to train, in a better way. You need to focus on your rep range around 5 to 15 reps. That is what is going to be building your muscle rather than building up strength. And the beauty of it is that you will still build up a lot of strength when you actually train in this way and train for aesthetics. Now, me personally, I've only ever trained for aesthetics. I've only trained to get bigger biceps, for example, and I've gotten so much stronger while training in that way. I can bench over 100 kg and I can tricep push down a full stack, no problem for reps. So you can clearly be very strong and train for aesthetics. So you don't need to be some fat blob and train for strength when you could just be a fit guy and still be strong. Unless you want to do powerlifting, etc. Now, the last mistake that you are making that is keeping you, basically making your physique really bad and keeping you looking really good, is relying on motivation rather than discipline and consistency. Now, motivation is really helpful sometimes. It can get you out of your bed, get you up in the morning, get you into the gym, and get you to do a good session. That's once in a blue moon though. Discipline and consistency and wanting to strive towards your goals is what is going to make you the 95% of your progress, not motivation. Motivation, you could not have motivation for weeks on end. And that would mean you wouldn't make progress if you only relied on motivation. So you need to rely on discipline as well. So we want to be getting into the gym even if we're not motivated. If you only rely on motivation, you'll end up going to the gym once a week. You'll end up having a clean diet once a week, and you're never going to make much progress if that's how often you're training, that's how often you're eating healthy. You need to be focusing on doing that hard work, that, sticking to the clean diet, sticking to the training when you don't feel like it. You're not going to feel like wanting to go to the gym, but you go anyway because you want to make progress. You want to build a nice aesthetic physique. You want to be able to take your shirt off on the beach in summer and everyone looks at you and they think you're a Chad when you're not actually. You're actually really, really sad and don't actually like your physique at all. But at least others think you look good. That was a joke. But yeah, focus on consistency and discipline rather than motivation. Motivation is just a sweet treat. Discipline and consistency is what is actually going to drive a lot of progress. My full aesthetic body course is in the link in the description. It teaches you exactly how to build the aesthetic physique and get in the best shape of your life. Go check it out right now. Link in the description.